part 2 of racism and cultural divides. So, if you've been on to what I said, I was just talking about Japanese and just not enough exposure. I must stay on that topic for the simple fact that it's true. Alright, so we finally got some more Asian cast members on Days of Our Lives for those who are watching. Sadly, one of them was gay, and he's, I guess, leaving the show or left the show. And secondly, the other one's a hot Asian chick who was an illegal immigrant, because these are the topics of what we're facing in real life today, which is cool. In Days of Our Lives, if you're watching, I could use a job, because y'all don't have too many mixed people on there, because I don't know where Theo is, but he's not here. But anyway, yeah, I'm one of those actors, if I'm blessed enough to get on a show, I'm not going anywhere. All I need is an acting coach, and just give me what I ask for. No. I'm not really expensive, just as long as I make enough money to have something to live off of and a place to have a roof over my head and the ability to wash my ass, then I'm good. But anyway, that's kind of the only things that are important to me. Eating, washing, shaving, acting coach. But anyway, the whole thing is that Hollywood has not caught up yet with the fact that the world is full of diversity. There aren't any Hollywood stories about people like me. They're not. There's no Hollywood stories about mixed people. They are afraid that they're not going to sell or they're not going to work out. Well, you won't know if you don't give them a try. Netflix, I need a job. Anyway, the bottom line, when it comes down to racism, cultural divide, and things like that, we don't have enough reputation. We don't have enough representation to get anywhere because we don't have enough writers who are of mixed ethnicity that are willing to put forth their stories as children and the hardships they've had. I've had hardships. I'm more than willing to just give me a job. But the thing is, I grew up in a multicultural household. Alright? We didn't get to practice a lot of the Cherokee traditions because my great-grandmother left the reservation and she didn't take any of those traditional shit with her. She bought a hatchet. That was it. I have it in the closet somewhere. Shit's rusty in hell. And it's not like an actual tomahawk. It's just a fucking plain old rusted ass hatchet. It's all we got left of her. But it's mine. My dad had it. I have it now. So I guess he was kind of close to my grandma Ada. Probably not as close, but kind of close. And I guess she just took care of me until she couldn't. Because her legs got amputated. And like my grandmother's legs also got amputated. My grandmother's mother was killed by gangrene, more or less. And diabetes took my grandmother's legs. So, I'm exceptionally careful about the things I eat. And I need to get back into shape because I do fear that I'm seriously out of shape. But, these are the things you have to learn because you don't know what's going to kill you. Especially if you don't go out doing stupid shit, then you'll probably die of natural causes. But natural causes could be anything. And if you know that your family's high risk from diabetes on both sides, then you have to be very careful. And for people of color, you have to deal with cancer, diabetes, and flying projectiles. That would be being in the right place at the wrong time, especially if you've never done anything, but you hang out with bad people and you can get shot in a revenge killing for something that one of your friends may have done. I know that's probably not something that you want to hear, but no one likes a truth teller. And I'm here to do that. I'm here to tell you the truth and let you guys know that you need to pay attention to these things. Because if you don't, well, the truth will always set you free in one way or another. But yeah, as I've grown up, I've been on the receiving end of racism from all three cultures. I've been on the receiving end of racism from white people. I've been on the receiving end of racism from black people the most. And I've been on the receiving issue of racism from Native Americans. But it's only been one isolated incident with Native Americans. Only one. And that's where I got all the... there was like a wheelchair basketball team. I can't remember the name. I guess he was the chief of that tribe. But he was being a dick that day. And I spoke to him. He's like, you part Native American? And I was like, yes. He said, you're not a pureblood. I don't want you talking with people in my tribe because you're not a pureblood. And I kind of really didn't know how to receive that. It's like, because my great-grandmother didn't have a problem with me not being a pureblood. She was full-blood, But it just goes to show that there are racism in every tribe. And for this tribal guy, if he's still alive, I forgave. It's over. Because you can't change people's minds. If they are hardwired to hate you, they're going to hate you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it except for just avoid them and stay away from them unless the hands of fate bring you back and forth into each other's lives. But that was the first and only time that another Native American had ever said something bad to me. And I've been on the good side of racism because I've had certain white people like, hey, you some kind of Indian? Yeah, I'm part Cherokee. Now, I've been on the bad side of that too, of white people when I worked at Kegler's, would not stop calling me fucking chief for 3 years, back to back, every day, because he could. And I didn't have another job, and I wasn't trying to get fired. But at the same time, there's a limit, Racism has a limit, and when you reach fuck it, you reach fuck it. Now, with the white people, they haven't really been that bad, except for the white lady that thought I was a Mexican and thought I was going to cut her and walked all the way across the street toward the black people and then walked back across the street, and then I had screamed out with my ignorance that I'm the same nigga that would save your ass when you go down the wrong alley. And I don't know if she turned as red as the dress she was wearing, but I've told you guys about this before. Like I said, I've been on both sides of racism from every fucking race, just about. Let me rephrase that. From every race in America except for the Indians with the dots. I've never run into any problems with them. However, with the Native American chief and the wheelchair basketball team, they were here, and I was helping out with our wheelchair basketball team. And I was speaking to a young Native American girl. And after she left, he waited for her to leave. I don't know if it was his daughter or his niece or something, but he really put my ass through the ringer. And he told me he didn't want me talking to his people because I'm not pure blood. And I don't deserve to talk to his people because I'm not pure blood. And I haven't forgotten those words. And they have rung and resonated in my head and hurt me so bad because my great-grandmother was Native American and she was proud and she never said nothing bad about our tribe. And she always said this and this. And she never really said why she left the tribe, but she never said anything bad about it. And then I meet another tribe of people who are Native American. And I get, don't talk to my people. You're not pure blood. And like, well, damn. I didn't ask to be born not pure blood. It's not my fault that my grandmother had sex with a black man and they had my dad and 7 or 8 other siblings older than him, and he met my mom, whose dad was half white and half black while her mom was Native American. That's not my fault. I had nothing to do with that. No. Next thing I know, I'm not pure blood. That hurt my feelings. It hurt a lot. But anybody else that I've ever met that was like Native American or whatever, they've never said anything bad about it. And I've bumped into plenty of Asians. They've never said anything bad about it. And I'm like, are you like half Asian? I was like, well, for the longest time, I said no. Because I apparently forgot something in school about the Native Americans coming out of Asia, crossing the land bridge, etc. And I said, no, I'm part Native American. So, on a good note, I had a friend in college who was Korean, and he pointed out to me that I got some bad news for you, buddy. I was like, what are you talking about? Native Americans are Asian. And we had a big fight. And he proved me wrong. And so now when people ask me if I'm half Asian, I was like, well, I really don't know how to answer that because Native Americans are biologically Asian. But they're not counted as Asian in the American sense. However, they are biologically Asian, and they were here 20,000 years before Columbus ever stepped foot here, but they're not counted as Asian. Don't try to debate that. That's like one of those clusterfucks that you can't really win. However, it kind of made me mad when, as Joan Chen, being one of my favorite actresses who's Chinese, played a Native American in the Steven Seagal movie. And I know why they did it, because Joan Chen sells great movies, and she's a very beautiful woman. It's the same thing can be said for Vivian Wu, who played Little Drumbeater in Tales from the Crypt. She's also one of my favorite actresses, and I love her ass halfway to death. But they weren't Native American. It's like they could not find a Native American actress, or they just didn't want to hire one, or they just wanted actresses that could sell shows. Acting works like that sometimes, So I was like, well, why can't I play somebody who's half Chinese? If they can play Native Americans, I can play Chinese. I just don't speak Chinese, which is a tiny bit of a problem. But other than that, it's not like I can't learn it. That being said, we're moving on. When I was assaulted by black people, it was mostly through grade school and high school and some college. Yeah, but mostly grade school and middle school were the the backdrops of my racial paralysis with black people. And had Miss Conrad not pointed out the fact that I was part Native American, I probably would have never ever known. Well, I would have never found out until I was 12 years old. But I didn't get to go to the funeral, so I don't know. But anyway, when I found out I was part Native American, it was like before the ass whooping and over 30 bars of soap that I carved up because Miss Conrad said, "Oh, you're part Native American. You're going to carve the best canoes ever." I suck at carving. My ancestors were obviously scouts. Anyway, so the racial issues with black people were, you're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger. I'm sorry, I don't like using that word, but those were their words, not mine. And I got that from the fucking 2nd grade to the 5th grade. Because once we got to the 5th grade and Miss Conrad outed me, then everybody started saying, "Oh, you're not even a half nigger. You're half one of these people." And I didn't know how to take that, so I just took it. But it was, now I'm fucked. Now I'm 3 races. I'm white, black, and Native American. Because I got in trouble one time. My mom came to school, and my mom looks white. So it was like, "Oh, your mom is whiter than my mom." And I was like, with a lot of my white friends, it's like, my mom's not white. She's just exceptionally light. Well, you have some white ancestry somewhere. And I was like, here you go. So, as I said, I've been on the good and the bad side of racism all my life. But for Hollywood, we don't exist. Which is why I don't have an acting job, because no one's writing stories about a guy who can go home to a Native American family and a black family, or any of that. My very first movie I wrote, called Dragon's Breath, I play a guy named Brandon Lung. And Lung is Chinese for dragon. And in this story, Brandon Lung is the son of a Native American and black woman. Her father's Native American, her mother's black. Kind of like gargoyles. Think Peter Mazza marrying a black lady and having a Lisa, Beth, and whatever the hell the brother name was. And then the father that I had was Chinese, who was cheating on my mom with a Chinese woman, which is why I have a Chinese brother, who Adrian Cow played. I'm going to find this stuff and I'm going to upload all of it. But anyway, for now, the base of the story was, you have a half guy who's a half-breed, that's me, and I have a brother who hates me because he's jealous, and I have a military forces after me, and it was supposed to be 13 of my other friends, but I could only get like 7 people, so we didn't have the movie structure that I wanted. Thank you, Bowie Sisters. Thank you, Adrian Cow. Thank you, the guy that beats my ass. And thank you, Louis Torganello, and thank you, Philip. I can't think of the other guy's name. The guy that beat my ass. Eric. Thank you, Eric Chen. So the movie never got off the ground, for one. But for two, it did get filmed. And it would have been great if certain studios would have actually gave me a job, but that didn't work out. Anyway, so I'm still working. I'm just not working the way I want to work, and hip replacement from the Army has pretty much put me on the shelf for a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, I made the movie so that people like me could have a multicultural hero. A guy who's half this and half that, and goes home to that. Now, I didn't get to film any of my parents, but all my movies will consist on the hero being mixed. And I wrote that because there's no movies like that. There's no heroes like that. The closest thing we have is Thunderheart or Trueheart, with Val Kilmer playing a half Native American and a half white man. The only other Native American movie I can really say is like The Indian and the Covered, Wind Talkers, Last of the Mohicans, things like that, and Dances with Wolves, which rarely featured many Native American actors, if any at all. And then there was Iron Eyes Cody. When I found out that he wasn't a Native American at all, it really hurt my feelings. But he's an honorary Native American as far as they're all concerned, because he made the point. So I want to end this video on this. Racism is not just systemic. It's not so much global as we think. It's mostly an American bad thing. And Americans don't want to own it, but they know that they do it. I've only been to one other country in my entire lifetime, and that was Canada. And it was the one place I went where I never heard the word nigger uttered one time. I was never called a half-breed. I was never shunned. And I felt pretty good when I went to the Atobi choke, and there's a Asian woman who was running security, and she's like, she asked me, she's like, "Can I ask you a question?" It's like, yes. And I'm not really familiar with tribes of the First Nation because there are many First Nation tribes. They're not just one tribe known as the First Nation, but they are many First Nation people. So she goes, I want to ask you a question, but I don't want to offend you. And I was like, well, I don't really know if you can offend me, but you can ask the question. Whatever you want to ask, go ahead and ask. It's like, what are you mixed with? And it kind of threw me back because it was like my first time going to Canada. It was the first time I met her. And I was like, okay, because first time at Otobi Choke. And I said, well, I'm part Cherokee Indian, and I'm also part black, and I'm also part white. She said, okay, well, when I first saw you, I thought you might have been part Chinese or something. I was like, no, ma'am. I said, I am part Native American. And she said, well, Native Americans are Asian. And I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I don't know if y'all count it like that up in Canada, but in America, we have Native American tribes. And she's like, yeah, we have those too. We call them First Nations people. They're all over the place, but they are distinguished in look than other Asian people because she was Korean. And then if I went down the street to the local market, it was like maybe a block and a half walking from the Atobi Choke gym. I went into the Korean store, and they thought I was half Korean, so they gave me like a major league discount. I still paid full price for the ice cream and whatever the hell else I was buying. And it's like, we give discounts to you people. It's like, you people? She's like, are you part Korean? I was like, no, ma'am. I'm part Native American, but I'm not part Korean. Well, you still can have a discount. I was like, nah, I'll pay full price. Y'all work hard for y'all money to keep this business running. They still gave me the discount. I still tried to pay full price. Eventually, we came to an understanding. So I bought something extra so that I would have to pay full price. I have it somewhere. It's like one of those little moose things that sits on a spoon. And every time I've gone to that store, they've given me a discount. For the years that we would go up there to play basketball with the Cardinals, I would film it and we would go play. And every time I went to that store, they give me whatever I want at a discount. And it wasn't because I was spending American money, because I was spending Canadian money, but they would give me a discount. And I couldn't figure out why, but I think it was because they thought I was part Korean or something. But anyway, I do thank them, and I thank them every time I've gone to that store. I wish I could go back to Canada. I don't have any money. But, if I could, and I could go to the Atobi Choke whenever I wanted, that would be great. But, as a person who's visited there, I've been to the mall that's in the ground. Big Asian culture there. I've been to the mall that was in the ground on the other side of the store, and there was like so many different varieties of people. There were no arguing. There was no racist stuff talking. There was no, hey nigger this, and hey chink that, and hey goop this, and hey half-breed that. There was absolutely none of that. There was no racism whatsoever. Hey, my man, what's going on? What's your name? And everyone approached you with dignity and respect. Where here in my country, it's like, oh, you ain't a real nigga, you're a half nigger. Or, hey, half-breed, you're not pure blood. I've been to Canada and I've never had a racist incident. Ever. And it's like they all have their shit together. Why we can't get our shit together, I don't know. I want to close on that. Because it's a shame that as a foreign person going to a country where people aren't sure what the hell you are to begin with, they're not assholes about it. But here in my own country, they're like, hey, fucking half-breed, fucking asshole, you ain't no real nigga, you're a half nigger, fucking pure blood. Why do I have to have that here, but when I go to a foreign country, it's like, we're exceptionally nice. Now, I don't know how they are when we're not there, but I know a lot of Canadians who aren't racist, where I know a lot of Americans who are mega racist. Like what I did there, mega racist. And I'm like, and some of them are black, and some of them are Native American, and some of them are white. And we need to get our shit together. Because America seems to be the only people that really have a problem with racism. Think that shit over while you're going to sleep tonight. I'm James Williams Jr. Come Happy number 2. Be seeing you. And sorry for the 20 minutes of your life that you can't get back.